Aotearoa, and welcome to Wednesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect New Zealand. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news. Risk aversion is the theme of the day for investors who seem particularly jittery about AI valuations, crypto prices, and the prospects for the US economy. But first, we start today with the results of another full dairy auction, and they aren't good. Not so much because of the overall result, that was down 3% in US dollar terms, more because that makes it 7 declines in a row from early August, taking the cumulative drop to 13%. And the recent retreats seem to be getting more intense. We now have prices lower than year-ago levels, and the decline in US dollars is being matched by the decline in New Zealand dollars now, down 2.9% in this latest event. Clearly, analysts will be dusting off their current season payout forecasts because they are at risk of being downgraded. Behind the softness is a faster than expected rise in dairy production levels due to good weather conditions globally. And that is as true for New Zealand as anywhere where milk production is rising. The pointy end of this pressure is the butter price, and that dropped 7.6% at this latest auction. Whole milk powder was down a lesser 1.9%, skim milk powder was down only 0.6%. In the US, the ADP weekly payrolls report delivered another drop, the one for the week to November the 1st, not as sharp as the prior week, however. This data suggests the US labour market lost momentum in late October, with a number of large companies announcing job cuts during the month, including Amazon and Target. Official data releases are being restarted in the US now, but the data is old. Overnight, they said August factory orders rose to be 2% higher than year-ago levels, but because this is not inflation adjusted and the past US PPI rise was 2.6%, it probably means shrinkage in real terms. There's been no indication things have improved from August. And restarted official jobless claims data is only for October the 18th, but it rose then to 232,000 and above the expected level of 223,000. Continuing claims are a touch under 2 million and notably above the 1.85 million the same week in 2024. And the US NAHB Housing Market Index came in essentially unchanged for October from September and 17% lower than year-ago levels. But they will be pleased it didn't drop back for the month. Yesterday we reported a good improvement for factories in the New York region, but today the report for the very much larger services sector in the same region has remained very negative. And we could perhaps note that the Atlanta Fed monitors home loan affordability for the US in a similar way we do for New Zealand. They say that in September 2025, 43% of take-home pay was required to service an American mortgage, and that is unaffordable. They say affordability starts when it is 30% or less. Our New Zealand September home loan affordability report was at 33%. In Canada, housing starts dropped sharply in October to their lowest level in 6 months and to levels lower than the same month a year ago. The Australian Central Bank released the minutes of its last meeting on November the 4th yesterday, closely watched because they have both rising inflation and a relatively strong labour market. But they downplayed both aspects, calling them slight and expecting them to be transitory. Policy was still viewed as slightly restrictive, and the board saw, quote, no need to adjust, unquote, the cash rate. They said patience was deemed appropriate while assessing spare capacity, labour trends and the policy stance. Scenarios supporting a hold include stronger demand, lower supply capacity, or a view that policy was no longer restrictive. Conversely, further easing could be warranted if labour conditions weaken or growth disappoints. Basically, you don't learn anything by reading these minutes. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.14%, up 1 basis point from this time yesterday. And the price of gold will start today at $4,061 an ounce, down $6 from yesterday. American oil prices have softened very slightly from yesterday to be just under $60 a barrel, with the international Brent price now 50 cents lower to $64 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is now just on 56.6 US cents and down 10 basis points from yesterday. Against the Aussie, we're down 10 basis points at 87 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're little changed at 48.9 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just over 61.2 and down 10 basis points from yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $93,460 and down 0.4% from yesterday, and it is still lower than year-ago levels. At one point in the past 24 hours, it dipped below $90,000 US. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been moderate, at just on plus or minus 2.6%. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.